suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. She ruled royalty. She's got the fruits of the Spirit. She ruled royalty. She's got the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. She ruled royalty. She's got the fruits of the Spirit. She ruled royalty. She's got the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. She ruled royalty. She's got the fruits of the Spirit. Tea time with Tea Time with She Brew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy tea time with She Brew Royalty.
Shalawam, 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 Ahchwathyam. Shalawam, sisters. Hello. Peace and blessings, you all. Peace and blessings. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. As you come in, please, please, please do not forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and the notification bell. Please do me that favor. If you haven't already done so, please, please, please come on in. We have such an exciting show scheduled for tonight. Oh my gosh, let's see who's here thus far. Sister Zion is here. Sister Johnny is here. Yes, Sister Princess is here. Shalawam, shalawam, Ahchwathyam. Please, please remind others that you know, that are in your circle of influence there, your friends, your sisters. Invite them to come onto this show because we are really going to have a good time tonight. We're going to learn a lot, and we are also going to have an excellent, fabulous, fun-filled tea party. So I am so excited, and I know you are as well. I know you are as well. So let us get this royal tea party started. So as we do every Sunday when we come together, the first thing that we want to do is give a big shout out, a praise, a tawada to the Almighty, I am that I am, AHAYAH, AHAYAH, the God of the Hebrews and the Shebrews, in the name of His Son YASHAYA Christ and the Rawawak, the Holy Spirit. So I am your hostess, Ahchwathyam, and I humbly thank you for joining me on this broadcast tonight. We are going to have an amazing, amazing broadcast tonight. So how was your week? How was your week, sisters? Talk to me. Talk to me. Sister Zaya said this is going to be a great show. I can feel the tude already. That's the attitude of Christ. That is correct. That is correct. We are going to put our attitudes in check tonight. That is what we are going to do. If it's not already in check, that's the plan, is to get this attitude in check, develop an attitude of positivity and gratitude. That is the goal. That is the goal. I pray you all had a wonderful and blessed week. I pray that you did, because I did. I had a wonderful week, and I'm just so grateful to be here, just thankful to be here, and especially to have you all join me again another Sunday for tea time with Shebrew royalty, all of the Shebrew royalties out there. Yes, it is so wonderful to have you. So before moving forward in this discussion, let us get rid of these disclaimers and all this housekeeping stuff. Let's get all that stuff out of the way so we can jump right in, because this is going to be it's going to be jam-packed with, like I said, information, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. So let me start by saying what tea time with Shebrew royalty is not. Tea time with Shebrew royalty is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. We get it. We understand. It's all right. Not a problem at all. But if you come upon this channel and you realize that we are just not your cup of tea, you don't agree with our lifestyle, our beliefs, that's okay too. I encourage you to continue to search YouTube until you find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. You owe that to yourself. What I do ask is that you not leave any derogatory statements or comments in the chat box, because that would be distasteful. We would really appreciate that, and we thank you in advance. Also, although I am a certified and licensed physician assistant and certified functional nutrition informed professional, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness in many of my broadcasts, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. If you are experiencing any medical problems, any psychological problems, any mental problems, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are those of myself and my guests, and not those of any particular church or organization. Another thing, if you would like to be a guest on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, please send me an email to shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com and include a brief description of your business, your product, your service, or a topic that you are interested in co-hosting with me. I would love to hear from you and brainstorm on how we can collaborate to help heal and strengthen Shebrews throughout the four corners of the world, which will ultimately contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. So I am going to put my email address on a banner here for you. There it is, shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. Jot that down if you have any questions, any concerns. And like I said, if you would like to promote any of your products or services, or if you do want to be a co-host on this show, please reach out to me at shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. Also, my sponsor, Orderly Fashion 144's website is currently under construction, pending new inventory. And my bags will also be on, and I premiered my bags last week on the show, so you got to see my crossbody bags, some of my products, which included the hats, the bags, and so on. That will also, my products will also be available on Orderly Fashion 144's website when they're up and running, when they're back up and running. So I will keep you posted and let you know when they are back and open for business. All right. I would also like to introduce you to My Guardian Doc. And let me pull up their website here for you. My Guardian Doc. Give me just a moment here. Going to take me just a second. Bear with me. Just one more second. Here we go.
Life can throw unexpected curveballs. When it comes to your family's health, you need someone in your corner. Introducing My Guardian Doc, your virtual medicine program provides compassionate medical guidance and world-class care around the clock. Within minutes, talk to a licensed physician. We are My Guardian Doc. All our doctors are guided by our Patient Safety and Care Equity Council, whose mission is to ensure you receive safe and equitable care. For just $27 per month, your entire household gains access to a team of dedicated medical professionals. Whether it's just sniffles or sneezes, medication refills, or a question about diagnosis or treatment, or the need to speak to a behavioral health specialist in the privacy of your home, no concern is too big or too small. My Guardian Doc is here to help you. No surprise fees, no hidden costs, just quality care when you need it most. With My Guardian Doc, for just $27 per month, your entire household's associated benefits include immediately lower micromort count, which is your 1 in a million chance of dying, on-demand access to doctors, reduce healthcare costs, improve healthcare outcomes, decreased visits to the hospital or emergency room, increase your lifespan, and gain peace of mind knowing your family's health is always protected. From urgent care, primary care, medical guidance, prescription discounts, hospital bill negotiation, and much more, My Guardian Doc is here for you every step of the way. Millions of people have expressed a need for My Guardian Doc. Join the fastest growing subscription service. Visit myguardiandoc.com to subscribe today, because your family's health deserves the best.
All right, that is My Guardian Doc. And for more information, please visit the website, myguardiandoc.com. And to sign up for coverage, you can find the subscription link for Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty viewers and guests in the description box below this video. All right. Let us keep it moving here. Let us keep it moving. How are we doing out there, sisters? How are we doing? Talk to me. How are we doing? Who's here? Sister Lillian is here. All right. Sister Habkarad, Sister Ashley. Oh my gosh. Sister Jeanette is here. Oh, praises. The Water Sisters. So good to see you all. Shalawam. Shalawam. Good to see you all. Wow. Like I said, if you haven't already done so, please share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I hope that you are wearing your favorite turban, tee, tunic, or your dress. And that being said, let's sip some tea and have healthy talk. Let's get this royal tea party started. And sisters, as we do every Sunday, post in the chat box What is your cup of tea today? What is your cup of tea today? Talk to me. Or glass of tonic. Cup of tea, glass of tonic. What are you sipping on this evening? It's already evening. Yes. What are you sipping on this evening? Talk to me. Tell me, what is your cup of tea? What is your glass of tonic? And I am going to tell you what my glass of kombucha is. That's right. I am having homemade. It's so refreshing. It's cold. It's homemade black tea, peach raspberry kombucha, homemade, made right here on these premises. And oh my gosh, I am telling you, there's nothing store-bought that can beat homemade kombucha. All right? Homemade is the best. Everything organic. Everything is organic. The tea leaves, the peaches, the raspberry, everything. So yeah, and it's so healthy. So I am going to remind you again, I'm going to refresh your memory about why kombucha is so very good for you. Here are 15 reasons to drink kombucha daily and get these amazing health benefits by Horizon Health. Here's a video, and it's going to show you why kombucha is so healthy and why you should drink this every day if you can. But often, drink it often, even if you can't drink it every day. Helps with this gut thing. So give me just a second. I am going to pull this video up for you. "15 reasons to drink kombucha daily." Here we go. And this is by Horizon
Kombucha
Health.
daily and get these amazing health benefits.
Start from the beginning.
15 reasons to drink kombucha daily and get these amazing health benefits. Kombucha is a well-fermented tea that has been consumed for thousands of years. It is made from black or green tea, sweetened with sugar, and fermented by bacteria and yeast symbiotic culture. But what is behind the refreshing taste of this drink? Is kombucha as healthy as everyone says it is? In today's video, we will share with you the 15 impressive health benefits of kombucha. Number 1, kombucha helps protect against cancer. Cancer is one of the world's major leading causes of death, causing uncontrolled cell growth and cell mutation. Research has shown that kombucha helps in preventing cancerous cells and cell mutation due to its polyphenols and antioxidant content. The polyphenols inhibit cell mutation, growth of cancers, and kill them on contact. Therefore, it is not magic that tea drinkers are much less likely to develop various cancers. Number 2, it contributes vitamins and minerals. Kombucha is embedded with B vitamins like B1, B2, B6, and vitamin B12, which are very important for maintaining and producing new healthy cells. Kombucha contains many essential minerals, namely copper, zinc, iron, and manganese. Copper and zinc are very known to be very important for immunity and enzymatic reactions, whereas iron is needed by hemoglobin to pass oxygen within the bloodstream. It's important to note that since every batch of kombucha is different, the nutrient content would vary with respect to the type of sugar and water quality. Do you find this video interesting so far? Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and ring the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Number 3, it is rich in probiotics. Our gut is lined with roughly trillions of microbes. Our bodies contain more bacterial cells than human cells. The trillions of bacteria in our gut can either be bad bacteria or good bacteria. Probiotics are the good bacteria that regenerate in our gut by reproducing and keeping the bad ones in check. During the fermentation process, more microorganisms are reproduced, and the result is a drink with properties of lactic acid, acetic, and other constituents known to have a probiotic action. This benefit is way too much beyond measure. From mental health to immunity, our gut bacteria is recognized as having an indispensable effect on every part of our body. Number 4, kombucha improves digestion. Foods that undergo a natural fermentation process exhibit probiotic properties, and eating these foods brings benefits like improved digestion. Kombucha is fermented with a live colony of yeast and bacteria. Therefore, it works as a probiotic by providing relief from various abdominal disorders like diarrhea and chronic constipation. Moreover, kombucha contains living microorganisms that can benefit your digestive system. The organisms can settle in the intestine and reduce the growth of unwanted bacteria. Kombucha also contains organic acids such as lactic acid and acetic acid, which can also positively affect digestion. This makes it easier for the body to absorb the full nutrient content from food. In addition, pathogenic germs rarely feel at home in an acidic environment. This can be very indispensable for your health. Number 5, it aids weight loss. Kombucha helps to lose weight majorly because it controls appetite. The probiotics contained in kombucha can produce leptin and insulin hormones related to satiety. Therefore, by consuming kombucha, it's possible that you will not feel too much hunger even when you reduce your diet. Moreover, kombucha is a nice option for you if you enjoy taking juice or soda but are looking for a drink with fewer sugars and fewer calories to maintain or lose weight. Sugar contains many calories, and if consumed in excess, there's a risk of excess storage in the body, which can lead to weight gain. Uniquely, kombucha also helps inhibit fat storage in the body and therefore helps prevent fat from accumulating in a different part of the body and speeds up metabolism. Number 6, it enhances better joints. Do you have joint damage? Kombucha can help. Being packed with glucosamines, kombucha helps in preserving collagen and preventing arthritis pain. Glucosamines help the body rapidly produce hyaluronic acid, which majorly prevents arthritic pain, protects the cartilage, tissue, muscles, and lowers the taste of inflammation. This hyaluronic acid is a known collagen supporter and can preserve collagen. In addition, the preservation of collagen also helps reduce wrinkles on the skin and makes the skin soft and plump. Number 7, it helps to detox the body. Our livers work hard day and night to cleanse our bodies, getting rid of toxic substances we take in from our environments and from the air and the food we consume. Kombucha has been proved to protect the liver and help in stimulating its detoxification process. Kombucha has a dominant ability to detoxify and even resist toxins in liver cells. A study published in Pathophysiology showed that liver cells protected by kombucha are not oxidatively damaged when exposed to toxins and maintain normal physiological functions. Researchers found that this may be due to the antioxidant nature of kombucha, and liver disease is closely related to oxidative adversity, so kombucha may help fight liver disease. Number 8, it strengthens the immune system. Fermented foods and drinks naturally boost the body's immunity. Our immune system depends on our intestinal health, and fermented foods provide the good bacteria our intestines need. Also, kombucha is rich in antioxidants, which help boost immunity. Even with the exceptions of the antioxidants, the probiotics and the vitamin C contents of kombucha seem to be very strong in protecting our immune system from inflammation, cell damage, and total breaking down of our immune system. Number 9, it contains antioxidants. As we all know, antioxidants help us fight reactive molecules and free radicals that can damage our body cells. Kombucha prepared with green tea acquires many of the beneficial properties of this type of tea, rich in antioxidant polyphenols. Polyphenols are important phytochemicals that have antioxidant properties. These bioactive compounds have benefits in lowering cholesterol and blood pressure, which are risk factors for the development of cardiovascular disease. Kombucha strengthens the immune system. As a probiotic drink with an antioxidant action, rich in vitamins C, K, and B complex, it is an excellent supplement for anyone following a detoxifying diet. In addition, it helps the body's immunity, making it less susceptible to disease. Finally, its intake improves nutrient absorption and wages war against the action of free radicals against premature aging. Recent studies also indicate that kombucha can bind and promote the elimination of toxic molecules such as heavy metals. Number 10, kombucha can provide the benefits of green tea. Green tea is one of the most nutritional beverages on the planet. This is because green tea contains many biologically active compounds, such as polyphenols, which act as powerful antioxidants in the body. Kombucha made from green tea conserves many of the same herbal compounds and may have the same benefits. Studies have shown that regular consumption of green tea can increase the number of calories you burn, reduce belly fat, improve cholesterol levels, help blood sugar control, and more. Number 11, it helps control type 2 diabetes. This type of diabetes is distinguished by high blood sugar levels and insulin resistance. It is an increasingly frequent problem in today's society and has been aggravated in recent decades due to the mass consumption of soft drinks and other harmful foods. However, healthier lifestyles and alternatives to sugary drinks are starting to appear more and more, with kombucha being considered a healthy substitute for soft drinks. Recent studies with rats demonstrate that the administration of balanced kombuchas and natural fermentation induces regenerative effects on the functioning of the liver and kidney in diabetic research models. A retrospective study of nearly 300,000 people found that people who drank green tea had an 18% lower risk of developing diabetes. Number 12, it helps reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation is implicated in every health problem, including heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, allergies, and respiratory illnesses such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Kombucha is not a first-line choice for treating a chronic condition, but it can accompany your healthy diet and medication regimen. This is because the teas used to make the liquid contain polyphenols, which are antioxidants lowering inflammation in the body. Number 13, it acts as an antibacterial agent. One of the main things produced during the fermentation process of kombucha is acetic acid. According to studies, acetic acid and polyphenols in tea can kill potential microorganisms. Apart from acetic acid, it is also rich in vinegar. Like the polyphenols in tea, acetic acid can kill many potentially dangerous microorganisms. Kombucha made from black or green tea seems to have powerful antibacterial properties, especially against bacteria that cause infections. These antibacterial effects hinder the production of unwanted bacteria and yeasts, but will not affect the beneficial probiotics and yeasts in the fermentation of kombucha. Number 14, it aids mood enhancement. Drinking kombucha can help in lifting you out of feeling sadness and hopelessness. This is because kombucha induces the secretion of feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which help make you happy. Kombucha plays a crucial role in maintaining your mental well-being and helping your mind be more positive. According to scientific research, probiotics are also very effective in treating people with autism and depression. After drinking kombucha, many people report that they feel that their body is more relaxed and their sleep quality has improved. Because of the rich nutrients in kombucha, they are helping you repair weak links in your body, allowing you to have beauty from the inside out. Good mood! Number 15, it keeps you energized. Kombucha has been recognized to give people a great energy boost, and this is a result of iron formation that occurs from the tea during the fermentation process. Kombucha contains a small amount of caffeine alongside vitamin B, and they're both known to naturally provide energy for the body. Interestingly, kombucha is also a better option compared to soda. Soda will give you energy, but you will feel a huge crash of energy due to the high amount of sugar it contains. On the contrary, kombucha contains less sugar than soda. Therefore, it will provide you with adequate energy that will last longer. Many people believe that kombucha helps treat all kinds of chronic health conditions. Note that human studies on the benefits of kombucha are few. On the other hand, the benefits of tea and probiotics found in kombucha have been amply demonstrated. Kombucha consumption also advantageously replaces soda because of its very low sugar content. If you decide to try homemade kombucha, make sure it is well prepared. If it turns out to be contaminated, it can do more harm than good. Will you start drinking kombucha after watching this video? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Don't forget to like and share. Stay healthy!
I am so sorry. I have been going to town and just yak, 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 and no sound. I put the mute on because I was clearing my throat and I didn't want you all to hear me clearing my throat. And I forgot to unmute. So I am back. I am back. I apologize for that. I was reading what everyone's comments were. And let me go back. Sister Jean says, sounds delicious. She says she's drinking just water. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up here. Let me scroll back up. Where did I stop off at? Sister Ashley says drinking ginger and lemon tea. I have seltzer water today because I've been busy in the kitchen today. That's Sister Jeanette. Sister Jean said just water. Oh, wow. Yes. Let's see here. Doing very well. Don't want to miss anyone's comments. Sister Jean says, sounds delicious. Sister Zion said, girl, you got that right. I was asking, what did I get right, Sister Zion? Sister Ahab Karaz says, I'm sticking with my good old alkaline water, alkaline with electrolyte H2O. And I said, you cannot go wrong there. Sister Jeanette, I love kombucha. All right. Can you all hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. Sister Esther says, no problem, sis. We've all done that. The water for your patience. Yeah, I was just going to town, I'm telling you. So again, hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we are about to get started. And I do have a favor to ask of you. And it's because I do not promote on any other social media platforms, because I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on Twitter, any of those. So I depend on your support by sharing this channel and also inviting other sisters, family, friends by word of mouth to join us, because we have such a good time when we get together. And we want others to join in on this tea party. All right, so that's being said, it is showtime. It is showtime. Who is ready for this super exciting and informative show? Who's ready? I am. So did you enjoy last week's show? Did you enjoy last week's show? I know I had such an amazing time with my sister Carla that came all the way here from California to hang out with me for a little bit. I miss her so much already, but we had such an amazing time, and it was so good to have her here on the show, right here on this couch in my studio with me. So it was wonderful. And Sister Johnny as well. Sister Johnny as well came in last week, and we had such an amazing time. It was a recap of everything that we had gone over for the month of May. And I truly, truly appreciate your input last week as well, because it was very interactive. And you all kept the conversation going, and I truly appreciate that. So, welcome to the second Sunday in June, Personal and Professional Growth and Development Month. So, every Sunday in May and June, we have been and will continue to focus on topics that aim to improve our personal and professional lives. We have been hearing from health and wellness coaches, life coaches, fitness and financial coaches, and others. And at the end of these 2 months, we can decide, because one of the things that we talked about is whether you all, after hearing the coaches speak, do will you consider becoming a coach in whatever your area of expertise is? So that's something to keep in mind, right? Maybe you'll want to start your own, or at least first go to training to learn how to become a coach so that you can help others based on your area of expertise. And I already had this conversation with Sister Jeanette. I talked about that last week, where I am looking forward to her becoming a cooking coach. And I think that will be so much fun and so exciting. I think she will do splendidly in that area. I really believe that. So, or if you are considering hiring a coach to help you in whatever area you deem that may be necessary. So Sister Jean said, great conversation last week. I agree. It was really fun. And, you know, there was a lot of information given out as well. Praise the Most High, Sister Paula. Praise the Most High, Sister Jeanette's grinning from ear to ear. That means that she agrees. And yeah, I am so looking forward. And I've been talking to many of you sisters, and oh my gosh, I'm so incredibly proud of you and the strides that you are making, because many of you have decided that you would like to train to become holistic health practitioners. And I think that is awesome. Our nation really, really needs that, you know, considering where the world is going right now. So I strongly encourage you all to continue on that path, because that area of expertise is very, very necessary for our nation. So yeah, let us move forward. That being said, let us talk about tonight's show. Tonight's show, attitude is everything. This show tonight is designed to address problems and pitfalls of negative attitudes, while at the same time giving excellent guidance and guidelines on developing a winning attitude towards co-workers and customers, especially since we are really looking into doing some side hustles and also starting businesses, right? So it's important that we have we not neglect attitudes. Considering this month's theme, personal and professional growth and development, it is imperative that we address attitudes, both ours and the attitudes of others. So it will also help us to examine our own attitudes to determine whether we are exhibiting negative or positive attitudes towards ourselves and towards others, and to help us improve in those areas that we identify that needs improvement. So tonight is also going to be another highly interactive presentation, very highly interactive. So I am really going to need your participation. Again, I want you all to participate, jump in. Feel free to come on video. I say this every week, but you all are so shy, and I want you all to come out of your comfort zones. That is one of the things that we talked about, right? Is stepping out of that comfort zone and challenging yourself to do something that maybe you've never done before, or something that you may have a fear of, or you're just not sure about it. So I am challenging you to start here. Step out of your comfort zone, because I know you have a lot to say, not only to say, but a lot to contribute to these conversations. So please, please, please come on video and talk with me. and talk with all of the sisters. You know, we really want to hear what you have to say. So tonight, Sister Johnny is coming back on tonight, and she is going to help me out with this presentation tonight. She is going to help me out, and yeah, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. I'm waiting on Sister Johnny to come in. Let me see if I think she may have sent me a message here. There she is. She is back. All right, so we are going to be bringing Sister Johnny in just a minute. Yeah. So as far as the concept for tonight's show, let me break it down a little bit here on what happened with the concept. Sister Johnny, I think, is ready to come in. Let me bring her in, and then I'm going to bring you all up to speed about what brought this on. Are you ready, Sister Johnny? Can you hear me?
Con.
Welcome.
Con.
It's so good to have you again, Tawada, for your participation. And
Can you hear me?
so beautiful. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sister?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What about your headphones?
Oh, let me get them.
Okay. Do you want me to bring you back in a few seconds? A few minutes?
Let me get them. Be right back.
Okay. So let's wait for Sister Johnny to rejoin. Just a second. Yes, because I want her to also hear about today's the concept for today's show. Yeah. Let us. There you are. There you are.
How is that? Can you hear me?
Wonderful. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sis? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
All right. All right. So yes, Sister
Can you
Johnny,
hear me?
so I can hear you. Is that wireless? I think she's freezing there.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, your video is frozen. And you're hearing me okay?
Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear you very well. You may need to go out and come back in, Sister Johnny. Your video is frozen, and I don't know if you're able to hear me. So I want you to go out. Yes,
okay.
Yes, Khan.
I'm trying to get out. Okay.
Okay. Do you want, I'm going to go ahead and remove you, and then you come on back in. Okay. Give us just a second, sisters. Give us just a second. Okay. So she should be back in momentarily. So we know how these platforms, sometimes we have these issues. So just bear with us just a second, sisters. Bear with us. She is back. All right. Let me go ahead and add her. All right. Can you hear me okay now, Johnny? Sister Johnny?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I sure can. I sure can.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh my.
You're not on mute, so we should.
Can you hear me now, Sister Carla?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I wonder what's going on. Are those new headphones? Are you able to hear me? I wonder if those are wireless.
Just a minute.
Okay. We apologize for the technical difficulties, sisters. Bear with us. Bear with us. I can hear you perfectly, so I don't know what's going on your end. It must be the headphones. Now I can't hear you. So sisters, I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and then we'll go ahead and bring Sister Johnny in. But yes, the concept for today's show, as of last night, let me tell you, as of last night, I wasn't even quite sure what today's show would be about. So I just prayed and went to bed. And I was even considering, well, maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll just take a break and not have a show tomorrow, because it just wasn't coming to me what the topic should be. And so I had already decided, if I woke up this morning and I still didn't know, didn't have that feeling of what the show should be about, that I was just going to take a break and come back next week. But I woke up this morning and woke up with a thought. And we know what that thought is, the Holy Spirit, and prompted me to redo one of my previous shows. However, I went back through some of my previous shows and I thought, no, that's not it. I don't want to redo any of those shows. So instead, the next thought that came to me is to use one of my workshops that I used years ago, many years ago. I used to conduct workshops for women on self-esteem, health and wellness, very similar to what we are doing now, but more in a workshop type setting. And so I had saved many of the PowerPoints from my workshops that I did years ago. And so this morning I just decided, okay, well, let me go through these workshops and see which one speaks to me. And lo and behold, attitudes is what spoke to me. And so this morning I had to go through this, the PowerPoint, and change some things, change the logo, change the background. There was a lot of revisions that had to be done to make it presentable for now. And so I hope that you enjoy this workshop tonight. I think it's very informative, and the information is really timeless. So I really think that you will get some really good gems out of it, just as I do. All right, so it looks like Sister Johnny is back. Let's see how things are working. How are things working now, Sister Johnny? Huh. Now I can't even hear. Now I can't even hear her. What? I wonder what's going on. I think it may be those headphones. I think it may be the headphones. Let me see if she's sending me a message. It's acting up. It's acting really weird. Let me see if it's, is it your headphones? Are they wireless? She said it's acting up. It's acting really weird. Yeah, because on this end, now we're not able to hear her. Before we were at least hearing her, and she wasn't hearing us really well, but things have gotten a little bit worse there. So, are you able to hear me, Sister Johnny? Give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear me. So I guess she's not hearing me either. Okay. So, and I'm sure that this presentation tonight is going to be broken down into two parts because it's lengthy. This was a workshop that I would usually do for maybe 5 hours or so, depending on the number of participants that were there. And so more than likely, this will be broken down into part 1 tonight and part 2 tomorrow. So please, please, please grab your note-taking materials again because you are going to need them. Please go ahead and grab your note-taking materials. You are going to need them. You are going to need them. Suraya Gabar says, Shalawam, sisters, and Barakatah. Shalawam, sis. Shalawam, good to see you. Welcome. So tonight we are going to, in this presentation on attitudes is everything. We are going to be talking about also winners and losers. We are going to be addressing the attitudes that winners have and the attitude that quote unquote losers have. This is never to shame anyone about specific actions, but what we will do is identify what attitudes make you a winner, right? It's the attitude, not so much the event, the life event that makes you a winner or a loser. It's your attitude towards that life event. So for example, you may have someone that's, it's a race and all the runners are out there and you have this one individual that's in the front, way in the front, but they look back and notice that one of the other runners fell and injured themselves really badly. So now that person that had a head start ahead of everybody else stops, turns back to go help the injured person. everyone else just ran right past them. And needless to say, the person who was in first place is now in the back with the injured person. And they ended up losing the race. But would you consider that person a loser? Would you consider that person a loser? With the attitude of, you know what, the race is not what's so important. What's important is me helping an injured comrade or a friend or even a foe. So that attitude was a winning attitude. It doesn't mean that the other runners who went right by are losers, but this person exhibited a winning attitude. It was their attitude towards the circumstance, towards the situation. Also, you may have a beauty pageant, for instance, and this young woman won the beauty pageant and she is Miss whatever. And at the end of the pageant, she gets her crown and she starts talking down, ridiculing the others that came in second place or third place. Would you consider that person a winner based on their attitude? Not on the circumstance that they received the crown, but based on the attitude towards winning. Does winning mean that you have to look down on others? So someone with a winning attitude, no matter what your position, you will always look at others, at least attempt to look at others in a more positive light. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, sisters. It's about the attitude, not so much the life event that creates winners or losers, right? And so Sister Johnny was, let's see, she's trying to come in. Let's see, because I am going to need her to help me with this presentation tonight. She is here to help me out with this presentation. So I'm hoping that everything is fixed. And let me see, I'm going to try adding her in again. How is it going, Sister Johnny? I think she's still not able to hear me. Can you hear me, Sister Johnny? Wow, we are really having some issues tonight. All right, it sounds like I heard a little something there. Hello? Sister Janelle, good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Poor Sister Johnny, her equipment is just acting up tonight. Wow, last week it did so well. I do not know what's going on. Well, just in case Sister Johnny is not able to get in, do I have a volunteer? Do I have a volunteer, one of you sisters out there that want to come on video with me? And what I'm asking is for someone to role play in some of the scenarios that we're going to go through. And you don't have to come up with any ideas or anything. We're going to be going through a PowerPoint and you will just be reading from the PowerPoint. So just to do a role play on different attitudes with me. So if I have any volunteers, go ahead and post a comment. Please, please, please help me out tonight because Sister Johnny is really having a difficult time getting in. And I'm not sure if the equipment is going to allow her in tonight. So first of all, say some prayers. Say a prayer that this equipment will just work. We rebuke the enemy. because we don't have time for that. We do not have time for this enemy to be playing right now. We really don't. So do I have a volunteer to come on video and help me out by doing some role playing on these different scenarios that we're going to go through tonight? It's so much more fun with someone doing this with me, so I'm not having to play both parts, right? So come on in, sister. Who is going to help me out? Looks like Sister Johnny is still trying to get in. Praise the Most High. She definitely has a winning attitude tonight because she is not giving up. She has a winning attitude. That is correct. That is correct. Sister Johnny is doing everything in her power to come in and help out with this presentation, and I so appreciate her. I so appreciate her. Let's see. Oh, yes. Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I had to reboot and do everything.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay.
I noticed that you don't have those headphones on. Was that wireless? Was that a wireless headphone that you were wearing? It's still a delay, sis. It's still a delay.
No, I took the headphones off.
Uh-huh.
Now I can't hear you.
No, you're breaking up.
It keeps buffering and going out. I don't know what's wrong with it. I guess the enemy is. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. But it's a delay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's a delay and it's kind of
let me cut the
freezing,
TV off.
I guess.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know what's wrong with it, Sister Koala.
Okay.
It just started acting up when you called me in.
Wow. I can hear you okay now. But it seems as though the delay is when you cannot hear me. Yeah, this is wow.
Can you hear me, Sister Koala?
I can hear you. They're asking if anyone else is using the internet in your house, Sister Johnny. I don't think so. Yeah, it's yeah, this is strange. So I was asking if there's anyone else that would like to come on and help us out with the presentation. Is there anyone else that can come in and help us out? Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in, but I'll be playing both parts. So let us try and get started. Wow. Yeah, it's buffering and it's spinning there. So she's having a really difficult time. So once again, do I have anyone that would like to come on and just read a part here on the some of the scenarios that we will be going through? So I am going to try and bring up the PowerPoint presentation here. Are you able to hear me, Sister Johnny? Are you able to hear me? No, she can't, she cannot hear me. All right, so let me go ahead and get the presentation going. Sister Johnny, let me just send her a quick text. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. So yes, I don't think that that it's going to work for Sister Johnny right now. So she may need to reboot again and later on try and come back in.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing you type. So I am going to have to I'm going to go ahead and remove you if you can hear me, Sister Johnny, and then maybe she can come back in. So, wow, that is so strange. Anyhow, let me go ahead and get started and just add the PowerPoint. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So I hope you all can see everything well. So this is my PowerPoint presentation for tonight. We are talking about attitudes. Can you all see that okay? I know the font is a little small. I tried enlarging that. Sister Jeanette says yes. So let me actually pull this up on my laptop here because the font is very small, so I cannot see it quite well from the distance there. So yes, this is an introduction. It's Kwala Yakaka. I am your hostess. I am the speaker tonight and founder, of course, of Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. I am a certified and licensed physician assistant, certified international entrepreneur coach, functional, nutritional, informed professional, medical professional, legal consultant, and a professional development diversity consultant. So those are my credentials. And tonight, what we are going to be talking about is attitude. Attitude is everything. So this is a poem by Charles Swindoll called Attitude. And when I first saw this poem, it really spoke to me. It really spoke to me. And I don't know how many of you have heard this poem before, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, "The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. And that is so true. It is so important that we are in control of our own attitudes. Otherwise, we are going to be doing this up and down and up and down based on the circumstances, based on other people's behaviors, other people's attitudes. So once you realize that you are in control of your own attitudes, then you are able to live a more functional and stable life, right? And this is for all of us, all of us. Let me. So tonight, some of the key points that we are going to go over. Here are the key points. We are going to identify specific attitudinal problems, learn how to deal with difficult individuals, and make plans for personal growth. Make plans for personal growth. Isn't that what we are talking about? Personal and professional growth and development. She says, Sister Johnny says, I'm back on, Sister Kuala. The link to the show went haywire. Wow, that's interesting. The link went haywire. I wonder what happened there. So we are also going to identify patterns of difficult behaviors. Patterns of difficult behaviors. We are going to describe what a hostile, aggressive behavior is, what a complainer is, describe a silent and unresponsive behavior, the super agreeable behavior, the negativist, the know-it-all expert, and an indecisive behavior. So let's start with definitions. Let us start with some definitions. What is a hostile aggressive? The definition of a hostile aggressive is someone that tried to bully and overwhelm by bombarding others, making cutting remarks, or displaying angry outbursts when things don't go as they should or as they feel they should. So that is the hostile aggressive. Next one we're going to talk about is the complainer. How many of you know a complainer? What is a complainer? Individuals who gripe incessantly, but never try to come up with a positive solution to the problem. They may feel powerless to do so, or may simply refuse to bear the responsibility. Sister Johnny, no, I can't pull you in from there. I'm sorry. It has to be the link that I sent you to bring you in. Unfortunately, I can't bring you in from here. So that is the complainer. Individuals who gripe incessantly but never try to come up with a positive solution to the problem. They may feel powerless to do so, or may simply refuse to bear the responsibility. That's a complainer. Next one we're going to talk about is the silent and unresponsive behavior. People who respond to every question you may present to them with a yep, nope, or a, a grunt. They will not elaborate on anything. It's just, yep, nope. How many of us know that? And I know sometimes we have to let our yes be yes and our nay be nay. However, sometimes some answers require an explanation. So that is the silent and unresponsive behavior. And then here are the super agreeables. How many know the super agreeables? How many people know what a super agreeable is? Often they are very personable. They're funny, they're outgoing, but super agreeables are always very, and they're always very reasonable, sincere and supportive in your presence, but don't produce what they say they will or act contrary to the way they led you to believe. So they agree, they said, yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then 2 weeks later, it's not done. They just agree with everything that they're told, agree with everything that they're asked, but then they don't follow through. So those are the super agreeables. Well, Sister Johnny is trying again. I love Sister Johnny's persistence. I love it. She's definitely displaying a winning attitude tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get her in. How are you, Sister Johnny?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
I'm
good.
Can
you hear me?
Can you? Yes, ma'am.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. What did you took your headphones off? Okay, so that was the issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. And you sound clear. You sound loud and clear. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for your persistence. Ooh, you are a winner,
Praise
Sister Johnny. Praise the Most High. And I know the sisters have been praying. I told them, let us pray about this. Let's kick the enemy out of here. So yes.
Good.
Yes. So we're right now talking about the different kind of behaviors, right? So right now we're talking about the super agreeables. These are the people that, they agree to everything, but when it's time for action, there's no action behind them agreeing to do certain things. But they're usually, like it says here, super nice people. but for whatever reason, they don't follow through. So the next behavior that we're talking about is the negativist. This is when a project is proposed, the negativist will object with it. And they will say, it won't work, or it's impossible. They attempt to deflate any optimism you may have. These are people that are just always so negative. Have you heard about the Debbie Downer? Have you ever heard that term, Sister Johnny?
No, ma'am.
You're God, huh?
No. No, I haven't.
Never heard of the Debbie Downer? Yeah, they're the negative. They're the negativists. They're the ones that they try to bring everybody down with that negative behavior, that negative attitude, right? So that's the negativist. Let's see who is up next. The indecisive. Let us talk about the indecisive. Did we already bring that up? Yes, the negative is, did I skip one? Oh yes, I skipped one. The next one is the know-it-all expert. These are individuals who have a personal feeling of being superior. They want you to believe that they know everything there is worth knowing. They are condescending and often pompous, and will likely try to make you feel like an idiot. How many of us know that kind of person, that even if they know something, that's great, but they want to bring others down to make themselves feel superior. Sister Jean says, Sister Johnny has a great attitude. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, she does. Praise the Most High. So the next one, next one is the indecisive. They stall when major decisions must be made. They can't let go of a project until everything is perfect, which may be forever. How many of us know the indecisive? Well, you know, I fixed this, but I don't know if this is right. I got to go back and I got to tinkle with this a little bit more. No, you know, it'll be ready tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and it's like, well, you know, I really didn't like how it actually turned out. So that's the indecisive. They can't make their mind up about anything. Who is up next? Now we're going to talk about how to deal with these attitudes, these behaviors, right? How do we deal with these? How do you deal with a hostile, aggressive individual? Well, one of the things you have to do is you have to stand up for yourself, right? Otherwise, these are the type of people that will just, if they think that you're a pushover, they'll just push you over, right? They're hostile, they're aggressive. You also give them space, give them time to run down. Especially if they're yelling and they're angry, you give them space, give them time to just blow off steam, right? Don't try to engage them. And also, don't worry about that being polite. Make your point if they are rambling. Doesn't mean that you have to raise your voice and scream at them, but just make your point. While they're rambling and yelling, you know, just make your point. You might want to get their attention by using their name and making your point. It's like, Jane, what I'm trying to say is blah, 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 blah. You're not going to scream at Jane, but you're going to call her name so that you grab her attention and make your point. And if you can, if they're standing and they're yelling and they're angry and hostile, you may want them to have a seat. Ask them to, can we sit down and just talk about this? Because when people are sitting, they tend to be a little bit more calm than when they're standing and just ranting and raving, right? So that's one way of, some ways to deal with the hostile, aggressive person. Here's some more points. You also speak your point of view. Speak for your point of view. And by saying, I think, or I disagree. So you're speaking for yourself. You're not saying, well, everyone thinks this or everyone disagrees. You speak for yourself. And then you'll want to avoid a head-on battle because you may lose, right? You don't want to go up against a hostile, aggressive person because you may lose. So avoid a head-on battle and be ready to be friendly. Be ready to be friendly and maintain eye contact. And don't try to cut down what that person is saying. Just make your point. Now let's talk about the complainer. How do we deal with the complainer? And Sister Johnny, we're going to do some role playing in just a few minutes, but I want to talk about what these behaviors look like when we're talking about these different types of attitudes, what the behaviors look like, and how you deal with them. And so you and I are going to do some role playing on how to actually put this in action. Okay? So with a complainer, you listen attentively to their complaints, even if you feel impatient or guilty. You acknowledge what they're saying by paraphrasing and checking out your perception of how they really feel about it. So you paraphrase, you repeat what they're saying, and say, is this what I'm understanding that you are saying? Just to let them know that you are listening and you are taking what they're saying into consideration. You don't agree with or apologize for their allegations, even if at that moment you accept them as true, right? Don't apologize at that point, because right now they are complaining. We're not talking about someone that just comes and presents something to you and you realize, you know what, this is a valid point. We're talking about someone who is standing here just complaining about every single thing that is going on. This over here is wrong, and this over here is wrong, and you can do this better, and you can do that better. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about a complainer. Someone that just brings up a valid complaint and is not considered a complainer if they're not doing this consistently all the time, over and over again, and finding fault with everything. So you avoid the accusation, defense, accusation pattern. It's your fault. No, it's not my fault. It's your fault for complaining. Going back and forth and back and forth. That's not how you deal with a complainer. You state and acknowledge facts without any additional comments. You just state the facts, you acknowledge facts, and move on. You try to move to a problem-solving mode by asking specific questions, because once the complaint has been put out there, Now, what we need to do is find a solution, solve the problem so that we can move on. So, asking specific questions, assigning limited fact-finding tasks, and asking for complaints in writing. And we're talking about now, we're dealing with, this is on a professional level, right? You're at work, or you are an employer, or you are an employee or manager or what have you, and someone is complaining all the time. You ask them to please put these complaints in writing. And if all else fails, the next thing you're going to do is ask, how do you want this discussion to end? Because a complainer will just keep the conversation going indefinitely. So asking, how do you want this discussion to end? Letting them know that we are at the end here. We're not just going to sit here all day long and go over complaints back to back to back to back. All right. So the next behavior that we're going to talk about is the silent and unresponsive. So rather than trying to interpret what the silence mean, it says here, get the clam to open up. Because some people just clam up, right? So you want to try to get them to open up rather than trying to interpret on your own why they're silent. So you wait as calmly as you can for a response. Do not fill the silence with your own conversation, right? You wait for them to respond to the question. And you also be attentive. Be attentive. So what do you think about this so far, Sister Johnny? Do you have any comments about any of these behaviors? Have you seen or dealt with any of these behaviors? Can you hear me?
In one instance, a person. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Can you hear me? Oh,
I can.
Can you hear me, Sister? Okay. Usually, when I run up on a person like that, when I run up on a approach of scripture, agree with your adversary quickly, and I just say, whatever you say, you're right, and I just leave it at that.
Which behavior are we talking about? I can hear you. But which behavior are we talking about?
The one that just ramble, the one that you just got out of, the PowerPoint you just got out of, the person that just rambles and they won't be quiet.
The complainer?
I just agree with them. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But is the problem solved when you do that?
No.
Is the problem solved? No, the problem is not solved. So the key when there's a complaint, when there's a problem, is to find a solution. So you agreeing with that person when they could be wrong, is that going to solve the problem?
No. Sometimes the problem may not get solved depending on the individual that you're talking with.
And that's where we went back to, when all else fails, that's where that question comes in. How do you see this conversation ending? Right? How do we just end this conversation? And you put that on their lap. Rather than agreeing, yes, there's also agreeing to disagree, right? Because once you agree with something that's wrong, that doesn't make it right.
Right.
So
that's right.
Sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And at that point say, okay, this is where this conversation ends. because we can't seem to come on common ground. And just leave it there. So it doesn't become where we blow up, but for you to agree with something that you really don't agree with, it's not the answer as well. Because there's a lot of things out there that we don't agree with, and we can't compromise, right? And they may not budge because they have very strong beliefs in whatever it is that they believe in as well, and we have our beliefs as well. So us agreeing with them will be compromising. And so, and I ran into that situation not too long ago in Walmart, you know, where this and it was pertaining to a whole, you know, truth versus non-truth conversation that I had with someone, and she was very adamant about her beliefs, and I wasn't going to agree with her. And so I told her, well, I disagree. I said, we obviously see things differently, so this is where we are going to have to agree to disagree. And I wished her blessings and sent her on her merry way. You know, she said, bless you. And I said, bless, you know, we blessed each other and we went on our merry way. We didn't have to have a fight. We didn't have to have an argument, but there was no way that based on what she was saying, that because we disagreed, that I was going to agree with her and allow her to believe that her beliefs is what I believe in. So I just told her, we'll in this situation, we're going to agree to disagree. And that we agreed on.
And you know, Sister Koala, sometimes we may have to do a Matthew 18, bring in someone else.
Yeah, and
bring someone else in the conversation.
Well, yeah, and if we're talking about in the church setting, absolutely. But we're dealing right now because we want to stay away from scriptures and interpreting scriptures on here, you know. But when we're talking about this, like in our personal lives, because we know how we are to operate in the church, right? And we have our elders and our deacons and our bishops and so on that make sure that's intact. But when we're talking about out here in you know, when we're dealing with others in the world, when we're talking about professional growth and development and our personal growth and development and dealing with people outside of the church, because a lot of our interactions, nobody is going to know what a Matthew 18:15 is, right? So a lot of our interactions that we're talking about is out here when we're dealing with the hostile aggressive out there, the complainer out there on our jobs, or, you know, it could even be in our homes with people who, you know, family members, friends, and so on, who aren't a part of the church. And yet we have to interact with these people. So those are the ones that I'm really addressing tonight, because those of us who are in the church know how we function in the church. But when we go outside, we have to know how to deal with those that don't know how to function the way we do when it comes to the scriptures. Because the first thing they'll look at you and say, what are you talking about, huh? And they really clam up. Oh my gosh. So now we're talking about dealing with the super agreeable people, right? Let them know that you value them as people by telling them directly that you value them. Ask them to talk about any aspect of your service. Let's say if you're providing service to someone, ask them to talk about any aspect of your service that is not as good as it should be, because these are people that will, yes, I really like this, I really like this, and then they'll go home and throw it away. Or they'll say, yes, I'm going to call you, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and then they never call. Why? Because they're agreeing to something that they really don't agree to. So you encourage them to talk about the aspects of your service that is not as good as it should be. Get them to open up, to give you constructive criticism. And also be ready to compromise and negotiate. Listen to this person's humor, because a lot of times it's super agreeable. They're real funny. They're real funny people. There may be hidden messages in certain remarks, and sometimes it's not being funny. Sometimes it's also sarcasm, right? So you have to be able to identify, is this really funny or is this some form of sarcasm? And give them realistic expectations, because sometimes they're very unrealistic. They're agreeing to all these things and they may not, they really don't plan to follow through with it. They're agreeing to do more than they know that they can accomplish. So sometimes you have to set the parameters for them. If you know that this person's personality is to be super, super agreeable, but then when the rubber hits the road, they're not going to get half of the stuff done that they promised to do. All right. So now we're talking about the negativists. These are the people that are just negative Nancy, Debbie Downer. Be alert to the potential for being dragged down into despair. These are the people that, you are feeling on top of the world, and as soon as you run into them, they open their mouth and, how are you today? And it's like, oh, well, it's been raining. The world is crashing down on me. Just everything is negative, not one positive thing. And when you walk away from that, your energy is just drained. And when I was a medical provider, oh my goodness, I had so many patients that I really had to stay prayed up and praised up because they come in and, you want to hear one positive thing that happened since the last time you saw them, and everything is just bad. Everything is just negative. And so you're trying to pull one positive thing out of them. And if you're not careful, they will drain and sap every bit of energy out of you. So make optimistic but realistic statements about past successes in solving similar problems. So you want to remind them, well, remember when such and such happened, you were able to pull yourself out of that, and remind them of that. Don't try to argue a negative out of their pessimism. Don't argue with them, because that's never going to work. And then you do not want to offer solution alternatives yourself until the problem has been thoroughly discussed. So sometimes just because we want to get out of the situation, we throw the what we think is the problem solving, however we think that they should solve the problem, we throw that at them without really discussing the problem thoroughly. right? And be prepared to go it alone. Sometimes you just have to walk away from someone with that type of a behavior, that type of an attitude. You just have to keep it moving. Otherwise, they'll just drag you down into that sunken place with them. Have you had those kind of experiences, Sister Johnny?
Yes, ma'am. You gonna have.
No, yeah, I'm sure we all have. Sister Jean says, have to keep the conversation short with negative people. Con. Yep, you do. Short, sweet, to the point. So sisters out there, please do like Sister Jean, make some comments. We want to hear what you have to say. You know, yeah. These are a lot of attitudes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
These are a lot of attitudes, and these are things that sometimes we don't even think about. We don't even think about, because when you're dealing with all of these different attitudes and behaviors, sometimes we tend to just address each situation the same and not really adapting to the different behaviors and learning how to deal with each different type of behavior. So I hope that going through these types of behaviors will really help you to start problem solving also on how to deal with these type of behaviors when you come in contact with them, when you start interacting with them. I think after this you will be more aware, and you'll start thinking, this person is really a negativist, or this person is a know-it-all, or this person is, whatever the case may be. We know that the aggressive type, right? The angry, aggressive type. So now we're going to talk about dealing with the know-it-all. How do you deal with the know-it-all? You state correct facts as descriptively as possible with your own perceptions of reality, because sometimes a know-it-all, it's their own perception of reality, and we don't have to agree with it if it's not, especially if it's not factual. If they're not coming to you and showing you facts of what they're saying, but they're just blurting out all of this stuff, and you have the facts. And we see this a lot, right? Because us now coming into, like you said, coming into the truth, and sometimes we bump into people that know it all about everything, and sometimes we have to state the facts. Well, this is the fact according to the word, or this is the fact according to what the dictionary says, because somebody may give you a definition of something that is not correct. And what you'll want to do is go to the facts. So it's not where you're just here, both of you going according to your own perception. Sister Lillian says, when I deal with a complainer, I quickly change the subject to talk about something that they can be grateful for. Amen. Yes. Yes. Sprinkle some positivity there. Sprinkle some positivity. Sister Lillian says, what about avoiding them altogether? Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes some people live with negative people, and you're in contact with that person day in, day out. How do you avoid that? You can minimize your interaction with them, but a lot of times, or you work with someone, or maybe your boss, right? It may be even your subordinate at work, someone that you are their boss, and you have to deal with this negativity. So sometimes we can't avoid them altogether. So realize that this person seeks the admiration and respect of others by acting like experts, even when they are not. They are often only partially aware that they are speaking beyond their knowledge. So sometimes they're talking so much and so fast, and these are people that, you know, tend to, a lot of know-it-all people tend to be manipulators as well. They've mastered the art of manipulation to try to get you to believe everything that comes out of their mouth. They're actually often curious and alert to information. So do not let a know-it-all make you feel inferior, because they will attempt to. If this person has true knowledge, listen and learn. And that's okay too. Listen and learn. If this person has true knowledge, if they're bringing out the facts, that's someone that you can truly learn from. And please do not attempt to undermine them in front of others, right? That's not a good look. That's not a good look for you. How do we deal with the indecisive? Sister Johnny, how do you deal with someone that is indecisive, that just goes back and forth and back and forth and never come to a point where they make their mind up?
I usually tell them that they're going to have to come to some kind of decisions, and it's going to have to be their decision if they want any peace.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Lillian says she's talking about the know-it-all. She says these are people who avoid the truth. They will claim they've read the Bible from cover to cover 100 times, and you can't school them on anything. Yes, we run into those often, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yep. So dealing with the indecisive, you'll want to find out why this person is stalling. Why is it that they're stuck and can't make a decision? And when the issue have surfaced, help the staller to solve their problem. Sometimes we can help them. And especially with asking the right questions, a lot of times, and that's where coaching comes in. Coaches are really good for people who are indecisive, right? Because a lot of times we don't want to give them, come up with the solution for their problem, but what we want to do is we want to help them to come to that solution themselves. But a lot of times they don't know how to. But what coaches do, coaches know the right questions to ask to get them to answer these questions and solve their own problems. So that's where a great coach comes in. And then give support after the decision has been made. Because after the decision is made, sometimes they'll flip-flop. They'll try to flip-flop back and forth again, because that's just in their makeup, right? So sometimes we have to go back and, just check on them and make sure that they're still on track. And there are super helpful indecisive people who postpone decisions which might be of distress to others. So while they're flip-flopping back and forth trying to make a decision, there are other people that are in distress because they're needing them to come to a decision already. Come to a decision already. These people hint and beat around the bush. They beat around the bush as a compromise between being honest and not hurting anyone. Yeah, sometimes they just feel like if I make this decision, I'm going to hurt, I'm going to hurt this person's feelings. So they just keep beating around the bush, hemming and hawing, and not coming to a decision just because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Right? And in the end, the decision still has to be made. So why procrastinate? So what you want to do is help this person to make decisions and stand behind them. Often this person may be unsure of herself and her decisions. She may also lack confidence. Show her that by moving ahead and not stalling, that there is a positive outcome. So sometimes it's just that, some people are they just don't have that self-confidence. They second guess themselves all the time. So here we go, sis. Here we go. This is where we are with our scenarios. So this is where I am going to be the aggressive in the hostile aggressive scenario. And Sister Johnny, you are going to be Helen. Okay? You're Helen.
Okay.
And I am aggressive over here. Helen, your work is never up to par. I'm sick and tired of your unprofessional attitude and lousy work. Where did you work before this? Some factory somewhere?
Oh, Mr. Smith, I think you are wrong. I do a very good.
I'm interrupting. I said you are a lousy worker.
Perhaps you are right. I'm not good at much of anything.
And that's the wrong way to handle an aggressive. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree? Because what is this person going to do? They're going to keep beating up on you. So let's talk about the right way to handle this aggressive individual here. So here I am. I'm aggressive again. You are lousy at everything. Come on, Helen.
Did you scroll down to the next line? All I see is perhaps you're right.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I scrolled on my laptop, but I forgot to.
Okay.
So let's start over. You are lousy at everything.
Mr. Smith, may I speak with you a moment? I know that you are angry, but I'm doing my best. Your anger is not going to help me do a better job.
I'm sick and tired of it. What are you going to do about it?
I enjoy this project. I feel like I am on target. But if you have suggestions, I would be happy to listen to them.
So now you put it back on his lap, right? Mm-hmm. You put it back on Mr. Smith's lap to, okay, if I'm doing such a lousy job, without saying it this way, if I'm doing such a lousy job, then maybe you should show me how to do a better job. So that's basically what the last sentence here is telling him. You enjoy the project. You feel like you're on target. But if you have suggestions, rather than him, now he's being a complainer, isn't he? Because he's not offering any solutions to the problem. He's just here to badger you. He's being aggressive and he's complaining. And so you're telling him, I would be happy to listen to them. So now Mrs. Smith is going to be like, oh, now I got to come up with a solution. Now I got to come up with a solution, right? Because you put it back on his lap. Okay, so do you think that would work? Do you think that's better than your first reaction?
Oh, you asking me?
Yep.
Or you?
Yeah. Do you think that the second scenario was better than the first when you were agreeing with him and I guess I am lousy and so on and so forth?
I agree with the second.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to be a complainer and you're going to be John Smith. So now this is the scenario of the complainer. This is the wrong way to handle a complainer.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Jean says, Helen has to find out what boss lady is not happy with. Boss lady is not happy with anything.
Yes.
And then she says, sorry, Mr. Smith. All right, let's talk about the complainer. Let's talk about the complainer here. So this is the wrong way to deal with the complainer. This company never does anything well. We lost a contract with Bill's engine, and it doesn't surprise me. I think that Bob Hughes is to blame for this because he is a non-professional who is deceptive and a liar. Whoa.
It could be your fault, Barbara. You don't do that well.
This company is full of losers.
You're one of them.
Is that the right way to deal with a complainer?
No.
Is that the right way? You
No,
put
it's
them
not.
down. You put them down as well. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the right way to deal with the complainer. Let's talk about the right way. Bob Hughes is deceptive and a liar. No wonder we lost a contract with Bill's engine or Cummins engines.
You think that Bob is to blame for this?
The whole company is to blame.
Can you give me some specifics? How can we improve?
There we go. So now you've put it on the complainer's lap. So now you're not just complaining. Give me some specifics about how this whole company is to blame for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Bob, or whoever it may be. And now you're putting it back on their lap and saying, well, how, now that you've identified the problem, how can we improve? So they're not just going to be complaining. Now they have to come up with a solution to the problem that they've identified.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the wrong way to handle the silent and unresponsive. So I am Ann Taylor, and you are going to be Silent John this time. John, I need your opinion. Do you think that Margaret should be in charge of the New York project?
No.
Why not? Why not? You just shrug your shoulders. So that was not the right way because Anne is Silent John is still silent. So let's see how we can get this clam to open up. Let's see. How do we get the clam to open up? All right. I think Margaret should be in charge of the New York project. What do you think?
No.
Why not? I need your reaction to this, John. Your opinion means a lot to me. And then it says here, Anne should wait patiently for his response and tell him that he is important. So, John, you are important. I would like to know. I would like for you to respond. I would like to know what your thoughts are on Margaret being in charge of the New York project. So let's see. And that's how you deal with the silent and unresponsive, right? And then you just wait patiently for them to respond, because eventually they'll clam up, they'll open up. But we have to be patient with them. Have to be patient with those types. So how about the super agreeable? How about them? So I'll be Mr. Jones, and this is the wrong way to deal with the super agreeable. And you will be agreeable Anne. Anne, will you be able to have the Hughes project ready by Friday? And will the training report be ready as well?
Mr. Jones, I will not only have the Hughes project and the training report ready, but I will have the corporate training budget ready for 2004 as well, as a listing of potential out-of-town trainers we may want to contract.
That may be 2004, right? See how long ago I was doing these trainings? I did not catch the date on there. I did not catch the date, the year when I was revamping today. So here we are 20 years later. Here we are 20 years later. That's funny. So Miss Super Agreeable there. Let's move on. I don't know how you do it, Anne. You're incredible. All right, so Friday comes. Anne, do you have those reports and projects?
I'm not finished. It will be next week.
Why did you tell me that it would be ready? So that's the wrong way to deal with super agreeable Anne. Let's see what is the right way to deal with agreeable Anne here. Let's see what is the right way. Will you have the project ready on Friday, Anne?
I'll have even more than that. I'll have all projects finished.
Let's just have the 2 projects you promised and do an excellent job at those 2. I would appreciate your help and know you'll do an outstanding job. So now you reeled her in and you're like, no, I don't want all of those projects. I just want the 2 that you agreed to 2 weeks ago. So now agreeable Anne is she's back, she's put on task. So now she's not trying to do everything over here. She has to focus on exactly what you told her to do. So now let's talk about the negativist. Let's talk about the wrong way to deal with the negativist. You be Barbara and I'll be the negativist.
Okay. John, look at the new brochure for the company. Isn't it great?
Look at the color. It stinks. It doesn't go with our corporate image.
Color aside, what do you think of the layout? I worked hard on it.
It's hard to read. The type is too small and the choice of words is all wrong.
I guess you're right. I was really excited about this. But now that I looked at it, it's not so great.
See how that negative is just dragged you into that whole sunken place? You were so excited until you talked to Negative Nancy over here. So let's see, what is the proper way to deal with Negative Nancy? Let's go. Let us see. What is the proper way? The right way to handle the negativist. Okay, go ahead, Barbara.
Look at this new brochure. What do you think?
It stinks. Once again, the color's wrong and the layout too.
I don't agree with you, John. This color has been used consistently by the company and blends well with our corporate colors.
The layout is lousy.
Sorry you feel that way, John. Your opinion is important, but I think it's super. It's easy to read, succinct, and has impact.
There we go. That chopped negative what Negative Nancy down, or what Negative John, Negative Nancy, they're all the same. Chopped him down, right? Without being mean or condescending. You just stuck to the facts. And let's talk about the know-it-all. Let us talk about the know-it-all. What's the wrong way to deal with a know-it-all? So I'll be Sarah, and you'll be the know-it-all.
Okay.
I have an idea to reduce spending on travel for the company.
I have proposed ways to reduce spending, and they work. I have traveled extensively and know what cuts needs to be made.
And this is Sarah in front of the staff meeting. Joan, you think you know everything about travel just because you're a frequent flyer. What makes you the expert? And she did that in front of everybody in the meeting. No, that is definitely the wrong way.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about the right way with this know-it-all, how you're going to deal with this know-it-all. Okay. So you were Sarah?
I was a know-it-all.
You were the know-it-all. Okay. That's right. I have an idea about how to cut spending on travel.
I have proposed ways to cut spending, and they work. I have traveled extensively and know what cuts needs to be made.
You have traveled a lot, Joan. Share your ideas, and then I'd like to share mine. I'm sure together we'll have super ideas to cut costs for the company. There we go. So that was good, wasn't it? Because you didn't have to undermine her or the know-it-all, Joan. You didn't have to undermine her in front of everybody, but you let her also know that you've traveled also. And you can share your experience, you share her experience, and together we can work on this to cut costs for the company. Sister Jean says, how old is John? Shaking my head. Sister Lillian, I'm a frequent flyer. Hello. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these are funny. But this is real, right? This is real life stuff. This is some of the stuff that we do deal with. So now we're going to talk about the wrong way of dealing with the indecisive. The wrong way to handle the indecisive. Would you like to be indecisive or Helen?
I'll be Helen.
Okay.
Can you find a way to stop the infighting among the staff?
I'm not sure what to do.
You came up with a great job for a round table discussion every Monday. Didn't you let the staff know?
Well, I was going to, I just didn't.
Then I'll do it myself.
Is that the right way? Does that, you'll end up doing everything yourself. And the indecisive will just be there collecting a paycheck and doing nothing but being undecisive. So let's talk about the right way to handle the indecisive.
Can you find a way to stop the infighting among the staff?
I haven't told him about the roundtable meeting.
I know you're afraid that you'll come off looking like the bad guy, suggesting this idea, but it's a great one and it will open up a lot of communication. Let's do it now.
Yep. So there it is. You made the decision for her. Let's do it. Basically, you're telling her that it was a great idea what she had done. You acknowledging, because she's probably afraid that she's going to look like the bad guy, and that's why she's procrastinating. But you're letting her know it's a great idea nonetheless, and it will open up a lot of communication. And let's do it now. We're not procrastinating anymore. We're going to do it right now. So there we are. Let's see what is next. I think this is where, yes, part 1. We're going to stop here at part 1 because it's almost 10 o'clock already. See how time has flown? Yes.
I'm enjoying it.
Sister Lillian said this happens a lot in parenting. I know it's okay. I'm going to put a poll out there. How many people want us to continue, and how many of you sisters want us to come back next week for part 2? Because I know I want to be, respectful of people's time, especially it's Sunday night. People have to go to work Monday morning, and so how many of you would like for us to pause here and start back up next week for part 2? And I think what happened with the computer situation that ate up a lot of the time. So next week we'll be able to go through this a lot faster because we're rebuking it already. So Lillian said this happens a lot in parenting. Con. So sisters, give me your input. How long is part 2? Part 2 is going to be another half of this, because we are already at slide at number 40 on our PowerPoint. And we have, so I think this is a good place. I really think this is a good place to stop, because we are actually halfway through the presentation, because this is an 80-something slide presentation, PowerPoint presentation. So we are at slide 39. The next slide is number 40. Con, we'll continue next week. I agree. So next week, we are going to start off with winners versus losers. Winners versus losers next week. That's our starting point next week. So we are going to pause here. So what do you sisters think so far about the presentation? What do you think so far about attitudes? What do you think about the attitudes?
Can I give you my opinion, Carla?
Yes, please do.
I run into a lot of these people since I've been in the truth. And before I got in the truth, I didn't know really how to handle them, but being in the truth, and especially with this presentation, it has helped me quite a bit. And I have friends and families members that fit these different scenarios, and I find myself handling them just the way the scenarios are going. You know, the PowerPoint presentation. I find myself doing just the way the PowerPoint suggests. Because when I run into a family member or a friend or whatever with a negative attitude, it pulls me down, and I just have to stop. I just have to stop. Like a friend of mine is not with her husband anymore, and when she was with him, she was going through this and that, and since she's been away from him, whenever we talk, she seemed to get back on him, and I just stopped. I said, wait, I don't want to hear this. I said, I know you have to get it off your chest, what you're going through. I said, but you're not with him anymore, so don't drag yourself down talking about him, and it drags me down. It drags me down. So we're going to change the conversation, and that seemed to have helped her quite a bit.
Oh, Con. Yeah, because when people are going through those kind of things, you know, those scenarios, those life experiences, sometimes we just have to point them in the positive direction, right? The positive side of things, because it's like a coin. There's two sides to a coin. So that situation wasn't all bad. There were some good things about it. So rather than focusing on the bad side, what went wrong, think about what was positive about it. And sometimes we have to remind them, well, you were in this situation, but it couldn't have been all bad. So if you're going to reminisce about this situation, sometimes you just need to think about the good things that happened, what was the good that you walked away from that situation, that relationship with. So let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see some of the comments. We have plenty of comments here. Sister Lillian says, can we use some real life examples? Con. Yeah, Sister Lillian, I tell you what, come on video and give us some of your real life examples. There's a solution right there. Sister Esther says, very good presentation with solutions. Khan, Thawada. Sister Ashley says, Khan. Sister Jeanette says, I love the format of the PowerPoint, sis. I like the solutions to the different ways to deal with different attitudes. Love it. Thawada, right, because it doesn't matter what the real life situation is, it's how we deal with it, right? It's showing, like with the negative it's showing you how to deal with a negative person, no matter what the scenario is. A negative person is a negative person. How to diffuse the hostile person, right? So each one, it may not be identical to your life situation, but you're dealing with that same type of person, that same attitude. It's the attitude that we are addressing, not so much the scenario, but the attitude. How do you deal with someone who is negative all the time? How do you deal with the person that's a know-it-all all the time? No matter what the scenario, the life scenario is, you should be able to walk away from this having some information on how to identify, first of all, that behavior, and how do you react to that behavior. So that's the goal. Sister Jeanette says, Sister Lillian says, yes, but Judah don't back down this easy as in the presentation. Which one are we talking about? Which Which one? The Judah that's the negativist, the Judah that's the which scenario? And even dealing with Judah, that's a broad statement because all Judahs aren't a monolith, right? So yeah, there are Judahs with different attitudes. Sister Jean says, I'm glad there are solutions to go with every situation. I'm still learning, but trying to get to the positive outcome of each scenario. Khan. Sister Lillian says, I'm shy. No, you're not. You're not shy. You can, Sister Lillian is shy, really? I don't see you as shy. You know, you're so positive and so, yeah, confident. Sister Lillian said we are stiff-necked. Yes, but that's where learning, you know, we're all learning different, right? How to be different. So this is part of growth. And it's not going to come easy overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. So many of the things that we are learning is new. And this is something new for a lot of people. So it's all about being willing to try something different, because obviously what we had been doing for so many years wasn't working. Sister Ashley says, act like they don't exist. Can I say that? Like, who doesn't exist? Who are we talking about? Sister Johnny says, I'm shy too, but I'm overcoming it. Khan, what did I tell you earlier, Sister Johnny? I said, I am so, you know, I'm so proud of you for stepping out of that comfort zone. Stepping out of that comfort zone, and you are doing it. It's new for me being on a Nation podcast, right? Yes, all praises. All praises to the Most High. And we talked about coming out of that comfort zone, that uncomfortable comfort zone. So yeah, wow. I am so thankful to you, Sister Johnny, for coming on and being so, oh my gosh, you fought for you fought for this tonight. And I just thank you for putting up that fight. You know how many people would have just given up, but you didn't give up, and I just thank you. I thank you so much. And the enemy, you know, we're told resist the devil and he will flee. Go ahead.
I think I'm going to look at this, and then I'm going to send it to my elder so he can look at it, so I can invite all of my sisters in.
All praises.
I think this will help us.
All praises. The water, sis. The water. I really believe that it is. This is something that's so necessary. It's so necessary. Yeah, our attitudes. Because even like Sister Lillian says, you know, it's the stiff neck and hard-headedness, and we have to get out of that. We have to get, and some of us, like we said, are just so shy, and some of us are really negative. And these are the things that we have to change in ourselves, because before we can even go out there and try to help others. How can we help others when we're too shy to approach others out there, or, you know, or being negative all the time, or being too aggressive all the time? Yeah. Sister Lillian says, Sister Johnny, you did great. Great. Sister Jean says, thank you, Sister Johnny. Yes, we thank you. So next week, we are going to pick up where we left off, like I said, and I am so excited already about next week. Part 2. Part 2. We're going to start off with winners versus losers. That's what we're going to start off with next week. And there's just so much more to delve into. So much more. So you will continue to hear from coaches in the upcoming weeks. I encourage you to ask as many questions. So in order for you to decide whether being coached or coaching others sound appealing to you, because I'm really trying to get some of you to become coaches in whatever your area of expertise is. And how is it going with your side hustle? Or starting your business, or even before starting your business, getting training in another area that you've been interested in, right? So these are some really great strides that we're making. I'm so proud of each of you, and I'm so thankful that you all take the time to come out on your Sunday evening to join me. Another thing, let's start planning for next year's annual Hebrew Royalty Summer Tea Party. And it's so interesting. The first weekend of June, or the weekend when it's the first day of summer, is when we had the previous tea parties. And that was supposed to be the trend here on out, is on the first day of summer to have the summer tea party. But this year, look at what happened. The Royalty Summit happened. The Royalty Summit happened this year, the second weekend. And that's who we would have had to compete with this year. So I'm glad that we had postponed this year's, because that was some tough competition. If we were having a tea party this past weekend, today, as a matter of fact, or even last Sunday, and we had to compete with what went down in Augusta Friday and Saturday night, we could not compete with that. So next year, I'm going to start looking at what other time of the year can we do our tea party, because I do not want to compete with the annual Royalty Summit that's going to be happening, because next year, if it's the Most High's will, I plan to be there, right? So let's start putting on our thinking caps about next year. When do we want to have our tea party? Because it's going to be grand. Trust me, it is going to be a grand sisters get together Hebrew royalty party. So start thinking about that. Start putting your pennies in the jar to start saving your money for next year's. It's going to be, Most High willing, here in San Antonio. So start thinking about that, sisters. So I really hope that you found the information that was presented tonight useful. If you did, please do me a favor and share this video with your sister friends, your relatives. Let's grow this channel so that the information can reach Hebrews throughout the four corners of the earth, and even those who are not Hebrews but are willing to be a part of our community. We are to let our light shine so that others can be led to the source of that light. Sister Lillian says, looking forward to that, sis. Khan, I am too. I am so super excited about that, because the previous 2 years, those tea parties were amazing, if I must say so myself. So I am so looking forward to next year's, if it be the Most High's will. So Sister Johnny, thank you again. The water again. Will you be co-host?
All praises.
All praises. will you be co-hosting with me next week, the Most High willing?
Most High willing. Come on.
Okay, come. So that's, and sisters, if any of you want to come on video next week, you have a whole week to build up that courage to shake off that shyness,
There you
right?
go.
And you have a whole week to prepare. And it really is not as scary as it seems. It really isn't. It's so much fun. Isn't it, Sister Johnny? Isn't it fun?
No. It is. It is. All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. Yes. So I love you all so much. And I really, really appreciate you all taking this time out of your very busy schedule on the first night of the week to have tea, kombucha, conversation with me, water, whatever the case may be. The water for your support. Know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for us. So until the Most High brings us back together, may you prosper and be in good health. And remember, true healing begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly.
Khan. Praise.
All right. So I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reasoning and justice. Have a blessed night and a blessed week. Shalawam. Good night. Good night. AHAYAH. All praises to AHAYAH. All praises. Shalawam. And Barakatah.